Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to my channel. Let's take a look at what's going on in your love life. What is your biggest challenge? And then I'll look at your person and their challenge and how they feel about you. Plus, stay tuned to the end. I will get some hidden messages, plus the bonus yes, no, and I go through Aries through Pisces for you as well. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh my God. Your love life is so challenging. You're angry. Why are you angry, Virgo? Who's causing you some problems? What's this conflict? I just did Leo and I just cleared these cards, shuffled these cards, and boom, right out the gate again. You know, I'm like, Virgo, I guess everybody's gonna be hitting some wall this week, right? And if you're just not getting it, if they're not getting it, if you're not getting any, it looks like some of you could be you know, letting out some of that repressed anger. But it does seem like your energy overall is that, you know, why does everything have to be so difficult? Why does my person have to be so difficult? Remember, today's readings seem to be hidden, you know, so don't get triggered, especially if you're a cross watcher. You know, I have to focus on the sign that I'm here for. And most often, more than none, as much as it's for men or women, more women come up. So, but there is a lot of anger here and conflict. So what's the biggest challenge, right? And you got the same thing, conversation, communication. What the heck? You know? And I'm getting here at the bottom of the deck here, overwhelmed, boundaries. And it's Virgo moon too. You're a Virgo moon. I was gonna say, no, it's not Virgo moon today. When I usually know the moon all the time, and today is Wednesday. We just finished. We're in Sag. We just finished my lunar return. Overwhelmed, boundaries, and retreat. You know, it's like somebody's not hearing you. How many times you got to explain yourself? All right. It's you said what you have to say. You know what you're feeling. You know what you're thinking. It's not that the person's not understanding. It's that they're not trying to, right? Or they're just not listening. It's like the more you repeat yourself, the more you start to second guess yourself, right? And so I am getting here, feeling really overwhelmed when it comes to your love life, especially when it comes to communication. It feels like, you know, maybe are you asking the right questions? Are you, is it fear? Do you feel like your person is responding to you, you know, the way you're responding to them? So there is a lot of equal give and take here. You know, we've got to take a step back and give our situation a little bit of space, because if we stay in the heat of it, we're just going to argue. We're just going to get pissed off. The more we think about what just happened, you know, and we stay in that energy, it's just going to create more frustration. So I am feeling like the biggest problem here, if you're having a problem with your person here with communication and just feeling like it's not consistent, or they say one thing but do another, right? And it just feels like you're always left with more questions than answers. You know, where do I stand? What's going on? Why do I feel like this? Then this reading might be for you. All right. So need a little bit of space here is what I'm seeing. All right. You got to give yourself time to reset, right? And then come back with the words, you know, because you're good with words, you know, but if somebody gets you all frazzled up in the minute of it, you know, you're going to get analysis, you know, whatever, I don't know why I was going to say that, because in the middle of a fight, you could freeze or shut down. So let's take a look at your person and see what their biggest challenge is. All right. Their energy, their biggest challenge, and then how they feel about you and what's their biggest challenge with you. And I am going to ask the tough question today. Do they really want this as bad as you do? All right. That is the question that I feel like the collective really needs to ask themselves if you've been going on with a situation for so long and you're not seeing results. Because as a reader, you know, I'm getting tired of hearing you're not seeing results, right? So it's asking the right questions, and if my readings today say, you know, it's like, you know, it's about persistent, then let's see, I'll be honest with you. All right, 9 of Swords. right? This is Gemini energy too. And Gemini is really showing up for you. So, you know, if you're not getting your answers met, if you're left confused, if you're left feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling too much pain and confusion just because you're trying to ask the right questions or just trying to figure out where things are, you know, there's a sign there, you know, this is like, some of you may have been dealing with this for quite some time, and it just seems like something is never getting resolved. All right. And I see the 10 of Cups here. So it is around your relationship, and it's around your happiness, and it's around long-term goals. And it's like, are we on the same page here? You know, do you want the same thing as I do? All right. But I am seeing the 10 of Cups here. And, you know, so to me, it says, you know what you want. Are you connecting with somebody here that wants the same thing long term? Are they acting like they want a relationship for long term, marriage, what you want? So that could be the biggest question right now. Now let's see your person's energy. Let's get the other side of things. All right. I'm seeing the Empress card. Well, and what's their biggest challenge? Four of Wands. All right. They're not in any rush to commit, but they definitely want a relationship. But it seems like you might be a step ahead of this person. All right. The challenge, the Four of Wands, they could be, you know, we have the Empress card here, right? Which tells me there's attraction here. They definitely feel a pull towards you, but they're more laid back here about taking the next step with you. All right. And that's the bottom line. So there's only one way to say that, you know, so I'm not going to go around in circles with that. You have somebody here that sees potential growth in this connection. All right. Maybe they feel like they've said it already. Maybe they feel like, you know, but you keep fighting it. You want more from them than they're willing to give right now. This is somebody that's putting a lot of attention into themselves. They're nurturing themselves. They're trying to figure out, you know, and also, to be honest with you, it's like they want to make sure they're making the right decision here before they take the next step. Because the challenge for them is the Four of Wands, but it doesn't mean that they don't want that. It means they're still in sort of the Three of Wands energy, which is, you know, I'm kind of just letting things come together. You know, we're nurturing the situation, but I'm in no rush. And if you're in a rush, or you're feeling like you've been waiting way too long and this person's been just very much too much in that energy, that's going to be too frustrating for you. You know, that is going to cause you a lot of pain. It's going to be like, why? What's the problem here? We're just not on the same frequency. Now, you know, if you're dealing with somebody who is leaving a relationship or leaving a commitment and there's still another person in the picture, all right, that's complicated. All right, there's nothing you can do. They only can give what they, you know, it looks like you're ready for action. You're ready for momentum. You're ready to put the fight in. All right. But it just seems like you guys can't get on the same page when it comes to making the plans or to communicate. And you may be feeling like things aren't fair for you. Right. But your person may be saying, I just got out of a relationship, or I'm not like ready just yet, or I'm still getting out of a relationship. And there could be, you know, this old school baby mama, you know, in the picture too, that kind of holds your person back a little bit, you know, and their energy is sort of separated. It's extended to everybody else. And so this person here is trying to take care of their energy and use it wisely. So let's see how they feel about you, how they view you. Eight of Pentacles is coming up too for you. So what's their biggest challenge with you, and what's their intention with this? Do they really, well, first, let me slow down. All right. The way they feel about you, they know they can make this work. All right. They know that you guys can make this work, but it feels like there's a misunderstanding going on here. All right. And I'm going to get to that. Now, you know, the way they feel is the Eight of Pentacles. There's something about you, Virgo. This reminds me of your energy all in all. You know how to give yourself to another person. You do things for other people that they don't even get from other people, you know, because you pay attention to all the little details. And this person just feels like you and them really vibe well when it comes to plans for the future. Like you guys definitely are on the same page. You have a lot of the same values, and you guys could make this work. So what's the biggest challenge they have with you is the Four of Cups. They're not able to give you what you want right now. And so you feel like you're being disappointed constantly. You're stuck and you may be griping about it with this person or wanting more attention from them. And it looks to me like they're trying to give you as much love as they can at the moment. And it's not enough for you. All right. So what's happening here is you're becoming depressed, and your person is going to start, moving backwards from you because they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to hurt you. So, but they're also going to avoid. They're going to avoid that energy because it's like, no matter what I give to you or what I do, it's not going to be enough for you because you're not getting enough. You're not getting your needs met. So now it feels like the biggest problem is this person enjoys talking to you. This person enjoys your company. So just think about it as if it's a challenge, the 4 of Cups. You got to take a step back here, the 3 of Cups. All right, very casual. So your person wants to be more casual, and you're not all about casual right now. So that's the problem. That's the problem, is you want different things. You could make it work, but you don't want to be on their time. You don't want to be worrying about what they're always worried about. But that's where it comes down to. If you're not getting your needs met from this person right now, to me, I would say keep your options open. Give what you can with this person if you want to see where it goes. But you can't give your all. You can't go invest in 100% of your time and not get rewarded. It works for you for some time, but after a while, you start to feel drained and you're not getting any return of investment. All right, so what's this person's intention with this connection? I see the 6 of Cups. You got the same kind of cards as Leo. All right, so some of you could be a Leo, Virgo, cusper. And, I am doing the readings on the same day, so I'm picking up on the same energies, right? But it does show that, this is going to be a tough call for you because you feel such a connection with this person. And this person, you guys, you have a lot of qualities that feel good to one another, or you may even have history with one another. But the problem is this person keeps bringing out the worst in you at times because you're not always feeling reciprocated, right? So what does Spirit think you should do? And I got the freaking Tower card for you, all right? And the 4 of Swords. All right, I had to clarify that. All right, so again, Virgo, you don't want to lose your shit this week because we lose our, you got to take a step back here. And, when I said earlier, let's just make a couple connections here. I need space, overwhelmed, boundaries, retreat, all right? So this is like a 4 of Swords energy in this deck. You're so overwhelmed right now. The 4 of Cups is showing up for you. The 4 of Swords, 4, 4, 4. You're going to lose your shit that you may end up creating, this argument, you might blow up. And then at the end of the day, may lean back and be like, what did I do or what's going on? And I didn't want this to happen this way, but it did. And this is avoidable. But again, you have to ask yourself if you really want this to work, or, is this something you've been trying to make happen for so long and it's just not getting anywhere? Can you tolerate the wait? Can you tolerate not getting full attention? You want to be the Empress. You don't want your other person to be dealing with another Empress, or them being, them pulling their energy back and not giving, they're wanting, they're needing, they're getting their needs met. You're not getting your needs met. Right? You're not getting your needs met, but your person is. So they're not going to do anything more if they don't have to, or if they can't. They don't need anything else right now except time. And obviously for you, the 9 of Swords is saying you just don't have any more time to give. And Virgos, I'm a Virgo rising, and I just know that we tend to stay in relationships longer to fix things, longer than we should, and persist. And you're so used to being able to figure out the problem that when you can't, you take it as a challenge and a sign that, or there's got to be something, and all kinds of excuses. But it's sometimes same thing with Leo. It's like, you love somebody, but sometimes when you love somebody, you got to let them go. It's so cliche, but it's the truth. And when you let them go, if they really feel like you're going and they have to make a choice, that's when you get the truth. And this person is showing up with the Six of Cups energy. It feels like this person really does want to give you what you need. It's just they can't right now. Or, you know, or they're feeling like they can't. So what is your advice so that, you know, because the thing I feel with you is that if you react from a place of boredom or upset or stuck or stagnancy, and you get overwhelmed and you come at this, you may regret it later, is what I'm thinking. Because there is potential in this relationship to move forward. But if you, I just feel like you're not ready to let go of this person. And if you're not ready to let go of this person, I've been on YouTube too long. If you want no contact, if you want contact to be broken, if you want to avoid going no contact, or, you know, this here is a sort of like a kind of a warning. Like, you know, you may overreact because you're at your limit. But then the result is going to be possibly a tower, which means this could be a breakup. Like, I don't know what else to do. Bye. We can't do this. And then a couple of days later, you're going, but I wish we could have found another way, right? But there are always exceptions to the rule here. There may be no other way, right? But you have to figure that out yourself. I just don't want to see you overreact and cause a tower one when I know that you still want to see where this goes with this person. You just have to take your energy back. You can't give all your heart if you're not getting anything in return. All right, so let's see. Before I go into Aries through Pisces, let's see what the oracle says. Virgos are not funny when you piss them off. I'm telling you right now, my son's a Virgo too, and you know, you're too good with words. You're too good with words. You're. I used to think Dexter was a Virgo. You know, just like cut, like almost can go. You know, I don't know. It's like it's not a good show, not a good time. And you can, my aunt's a Virgo, named it after my uncle who's a Virgo. I mean, you can just, you're sharp with the mouth. You're sharp with the mouth and you know it. So here I have boundary stones, negotiations, contracts, communication, right? So that's the Six of Pentacles energy. And this says something does have to change in this relationship in order for you to start feeling like you're getting something a little bit more out of this. All right. Somehow or another, if this is your reading and your person is willing to work with you in some way, we've got to come up with a contract that works in order to make this. And you have to be real with yourself, Virgo, not just to make the moment okay. You have to be okay with this, the new terms. Like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this work? And that means that in a week from now, we can't fly off the handle with our emotions because we're not happy with the decision we made. All right. But I am seeing with communication, and also on the flip side of that too, setting strong boundaries with yourself and with other people. If you feel like, you know, you do deserve more and this person should show up and give you more. On the other side of that, this is also saying that too. You know, you've got to demand and say what you need, and then that's it. And say, I'm not going to budge. I'm not going to say I want this, but then let you still not do it. You know, you have to be really strong in these moments right now. The truths are all coming up right now, and it's unavoidable. You know, even if we don't want it to happen, it happens. You know, you can be more self-aware and try to work with these energies, or you can just let them happen and go, what the hell just happened? You know? So let's see Aries through Pisces. All right, everybody's going to call me now when I'm live. Aries, Three of Pentacles, right? So you and Aries have potential to make this work. It looks like this week you could be talking things out, trying to make it work, fixing things. But it does talk about a negotiation here. We need to talk to each other about what we're putting in. Are you getting enough? Are they giving enough? Should you give more? Whatever. But it does look like you could work things out with an Aries this week. Taurus, Seven of Swords. All right. So there's some wishy-washy energy here. Either we can't trust each other, and somebody can't let it go, you know, or you just don't always believe everything they say. They say one thing, they do another. And it's like, no matter what, you always feel like you just can't trust it. You can't trust the situation. And the same thing is showing up this week too. So even with your Taurus, there's going to be some questions here because it's going to cause a huge fight. You're sick of hearing the bullshit. And this could lead to a blowout this week with you and a Taurus if we keep trying to deny, you know, or trying to ignore that they're lying to us, or not, or saying one thing just to shut us off or shut us up, but it's not really the truth. Gemini, I see the King of Swords. The Gemini showing up in a different energy for you. It looks like willing to communicate with you, you know, getting something off their chest though too. So, you know, Gemini here being very truthful about how they feel and about, you know, so it's be a good energy to really, you know, listen, talk to one another and see if you guys can figure out what's going on. But I do see a Gemini here stepping up as a king. So it means taking responsibility of what they say and then followed with actions. Cancer, the World card. Well, that's a huge decision this week. Things could end up being finalized. All right. The World card is the actual end. It's not the death. It's not anything else. Things have to end during those cycles. But this is actually a completion of a cycle. So either we have to close a chapter with a Cancer, and that could be, you know, we're starting fresh, or we're deciding to walk away. But it does look like we're figuring things out with a Cancer this week. Leo, the Strength card. Hang on in there. Leo had a pretty hot and spicy reading too. You know, there is some fire coming up here. You know, there's the South Node there too in Virgo. So the Strength card is telling me with your Leo this week, taking a different approach. You both need to kind of figure out, you know, boundaries with one another. There's a strong bond here, but sometimes we got to learn to when to control our emotions or when to react. And it seems like you guys could figure it out. You guys will muscle through it this week and try to figure out how to make it work. Virgo, you have the Star card. All right, so the Star comes after the Tower card, and maybe you're sick of sitting in the Tower energy. You're sick of uncertainty. You're sick of not being able to rebuild or build your life, right? You're constantly in limbo. As a human being, we need change. We need to feel like we have a purpose. We're moving towards something. We're in a relationship. We want to see what happens next. We do it naturally. All right. You know, it just happens. And if you're not progressing, that's going to drive you crazy. You're somebody that needs to see steps, see things move. You know, the Star card is telling me don't lose faith in your situation with your Virgo. There is a possibility here for you guys to find some sort of connection and alignment and healing, but it is asking to also let go of control and trust the process. And that's part of the North Node in Pisces too, is ultimate surrender to the situation. And, you know, and if that means losing a situation or letting go of a situation, then so be it. You'll find out the truth sooner than later. Libra, I see the Moon card. So Libra could be showing up still uncertain though. All right, the Moon card, you feel it already. You feel like, you know, you're told one thing, you feel like they want to change. They show up in your energy, they text you, oh yeah, I missed you, whatever it is. It feels like the Moon card. It's just always like, you just don't know if you can trust it. Right? So be aware that you have a Libra coming around, and there is potential. Anything's possible with the Libra, with the Moon energy. But at the same time, it's still be cautious. Be cautious and know that not enough facts are being shown yet for you to feel safe that everything is actually moving forward. So just be a little cautious with your Libra. Scorpio, 8 of Swords, you may need to confront a Scorpio, all right? Because either they're just not being 100% honest with you all the time, right? Or they're stressed. They're stressed about the situation. Maybe the two of you just can't seem to communicate, whatever it is, but you could be projecting onto one another, all right? That is a big deal here. A lot of the anger and arguments could be things that you've repressed. You know, if you're holding back what you really want to say to your Scorpio, or they feel like you're not hearing them, it's eventually going to become war, all right? And we're going to project onto each other. So this week, you know, there's a chance here with communication to avoid conflict with your Scorpio. But if you find that every time you guys are finally talking, it goes right back into ending the same way, it's because you guys are projecting and still go back into that energy, the old story about the situation. Sagittarius is showing up in a Nine of Pentacles energy, saying, I'm here, I'm invested, I want this, but I want my freedom too. And so you could get more improvements or feel like your Sagittarius is investing more with you, but they may be asking for just a little bit more freedom, right? You know, sometimes if they feel a little bit, that's Sagittarius's big thing. If they feel like they're going to lose their freedom, no matter how much they love somebody, they will panic and they will take off, you know. In my experience, obviously there's many different aspects to a chart, but that's my experience. But I do see worth the investment. They do want to invest in this. Capricorn, Knight of Pentacles. Capricorn cares about you. All right, they see you, they understand you. It seems like you could have a really good vibe with the Capricorn this week. Slow and steady. You guys got to figure each other out. Maybe things are moving slow. Maybe you do have to slow down. I don't know what it is, but there's always a slow kind of something happening with the Knight of Pentacles. But it does tell me that it's worth it. The pace is worth it. You will get to the outcome. But it depends on if you're feeling growth every time you have an encounter. If you never see any growth, then that's a little bit different, you know, because this guy here can say, I promise you one thing, but I don't always follow through. So you have to use discernment when it comes to this. But a Capricorn seems to want to make it work with you, want to fix things, or just see where it goes. Aquarius, Ace of Wands. All right, so the passion is there, and it seems like in early stages with an Aquarius. Whether it's you're reconciling or you just got to know each other, the passion is there, and there is potential here. But this card tells me automatically slow down. Just slow down with your assumptions, and see where things go, because there is some passion there between you and an Aquarius. Pisces, Seven of Wands, boundaries with a Pisces. Maybe they are frustrating you. Maybe you need them to do more. It looks like there is potential for them to do more this week, right? Maybe they will step up. But I am seeing a very defensive energy. So that means that either they feel like you're constantly coming at them and they can't do enough and they're trying to do enough, or they just are a very defensive person. And anytime you call them out, they get frustrated and they push you away. So that's a difficult energy to deal with. All right. And it is what it is. So let's see what your, I think I already got your advice. Let's get a hidden message for you. And then I'll do a bonus yes, no. I think this is going to be a week where people need to go find a rage room, right? All right, any hidden messages? This one's really, all right. So your intuition is noticing the red flags. I mean, and that's the Nine of Swords. And it's like, you try to ignore them and avoid them because I get it. Like, we're so picky. Virgos are so picky, you can see every little thing. But as you get older, you start to realize that. But then also you get to a point where, sometimes that pickiness is there for a reason. All right. And then it's like, what's too and what's too much and what's too little. You have to decide. But for some of you, you're just seeing a lot of red flags, and it's really disheartening. Concerns about money too could be affecting your love life. So your person may be worried about other things more than the relationship. And that could really damper the relationship, because you may be looking at it like, I don't care about money. I don't care about the problems. I just want us to work. But your person here, if they've got other issues going on, they don't even, love life goes way to the side, right? And so that could really be affecting the connection. All right. So it could be a financial thing, have nothing to do with your relationship. All right. And they feel like they're out of your league. So what that tells me too is your person feels like they can't meet your needs. They can't meet your expectations. You may say one thing, you may say you're okay with something, but you may get aggravated whenever you're not really getting what you really want, right? Think about that. Right? Think about that. It's like when you say you're okay with somebody, you have to really mean it. If you're okay and you agree upon something, but you really don't feel it, it's going to come out one way or another. You'll get frustrated with your person over every little thing they say. And so your person could feel like they can't make you happy. Now I'm getting a reconciliation is on the horizon for some of you too. And this goes back to the Six of Cups. So I feel like, you know, there's an avoidable tower for my Virgos this week. There's definitely an avoidable tower. All right, let's see your bonus yes or no. Think of your question. And always only take what resonates. Even if the whole story doesn't resonate with you, parts of it, take what you need, leave the rest. Sometimes a message is just one sentence that you needed to hear, and then, or a card, you know. Think of your question. All right, you have a no, and you have the Four of Swords. You were getting all the fours earlier. You have four fours. Four fours. So the answer is no to the question on your mind. That has nothing to do with the message. All right. I see Libra energy and I see Jupiter too, right? And so this tells me that, you know, Jupiter can expand things and also expand negative things too, right? And so if something is not feeling fair right now between you and another relationship, you're going to see it. It's going to be like the Batman symbol in the sky. You're going to see the signs. All right, if something's not working. But I'm also seeing find time to give yourself a little bit of space so that you can really think about things before you confront things right now. Because also Jupiter is stationed and to go direct again, but like I don't know exactly where it's at right now. But I know that where it's at right now, it feels like nothing's moving. It feels like everything is stuck, right? And that's just to me an illusion. It feels like it. We're ready to go forward, but the energy is saying not now. So it can be an internal struggle. So it's one of these things where, you know, you're like, okay, I'll wait. I'll talk to you tomorrow. But then 5 minutes later, you're impatient. Like you're just like, why did I say that? I want it now. So just know that energy. So before you react to a situation, think about before you send that text. I love you guys. I hope that helped at all. I will see you next with Libra. If you just want to come hang out with me, that'll be amazing. Usually when I go one after another like this, you guys don't get notifications. So, but your energy always helps me out in here when I'm live. All right, guys. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Queen Tiki and Angel. Thank you guys all for being here and learning with here. Jake Crow. All right. All right, Miss Abigail. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Thank you.